Hello. I'll sit. It will be easier because I have no slides today. This is, the failure story, so I guess I don't need to have any numbers and you don't need to have picture them, to be honest. But it's great to see you again. And I'd like to start with, when you were trying to encourage me in September on LeSS conference to start writing papers for being a LeSS trainer, because I have a story, it ended up 3 months later. So I'll start with from the beginning of my story with one of the startups in Wrocław, which is creating the biometrical pattern payment on terminals. So I'm not going to use the name of this company, as you can see, because I don't need to. It's about the story how we just hit our heads on a ceiling. After 18 months of working together, we started with more or less 30 people on IT side on board. There were silo teams, backend team, mobile team, front-end team, QA team, and pretty interesting because there was a hardware team who were involved in R&D part. And we started with total mess, mostly because when I came at my first day, it appeared that we need to deliver MVP of our solution in 6 weeks. So MVP mostly was described as a solution where we can use our biometrical algorithm, but it's not necessarily needed to have a payment part, because we had to just show on a GTEx fair in Dubai that it's working and we can just use the algorithm and it's the most valuable part. And we did it. Yeah, my guys did it in 6 weeks. So how did we start? We started with workshops because the requirements and the backlog was not ready. It was not even visible for anyone. So we were like children in a mist. We started with, okay, we need to have working algorithm and we need to show it on GTEx. And it was all that we knew that time. So we started with 2 days workshops, basing on what is the most valuable thing, what we need to deliver, what has to be done. And the tricky part was that we were working separately with hardware team. And the thing is that our hardware team was working 1 floor down from us. So it wasn't so hard to get to them. But there was a separation because our CTO that time didn't want to mess it up because it was like challenge. We had a challenge between hardware and software, so who will be the first one who delivered the value? It's the best. Yeah, I know how it sounds. So it was a little bit challenging from the beginning, from the first day of my work. And we built the backlog on a wall. It was the first and the only time when we built something in an analog version. So we put together all the people in a room, and we started with building our backlog. And after 6 weeks of hard work, we achieved it. Yeah, on GTEx, we were able to show how the algorithm's working. And it was an amazing success for everyone. The enormous success. People didn't believe that it's possible. We cannot say that if I wouldn't get to the company, they wouldn't succeed. I can't say that because they were working in a very messy, chaotic way. But on the other hand, they know that they succeeded because we started working in Scrum teams. We started with building these teams from scratch, so they decided who they want to work with and what are their competencies and in which area they are best. So they covered with this knowledge, expert knowledge and competencies, all the needs that we had that time. We delivered. GTEx was a huge success, and after 6 weeks of hard work, we did a huge review and retrospective for all the team members. And during the review, we were just thinking about how much time do we need to deliver the working solution to the market if there will be everything what we need, what we know right now. My team said that time that it's from 7 to 12 months. And with the known scope and with information that there are a lot of unknowns in our way, it was from 7 to 12 months. On the other hand, when our board members and CTO all came back from Dubai, we had workshops because it had to be said that we're not going to deliver the solution to the market in 3 weeks or 3 months. The problem we were struggling with in this specific moment was that our CTO was compromised by, and because he said that we need 6 weeks. So, you know, from 7 to 12 months, we see 6 weeks. And our board members wanted us to deliver the whole solution in 6 weeks. I told them that basing on the expertise of teams, we know that we need at least 7 to 12 months. To be honest, it was the first moment when we realized that we're going to fail if our board members won't change anything in their behavior, because they said that if it was possible to be delivered in 6 weeks, the MVP version, we can do in next 6 weeks the whole version. Yeah, well, I think that we all know these kind of situations in our lives. So they said, okay, you can do it. And from my perspective, I was 6 or 7 weeks in a company. I said, no, it's impossible. So we were arguing for a long time without any CTO help, because he was already compromised. So it wasn't any help from his side. And we had to deal with what he promised. The next step we did that moment was we stabilized and structured the teams in the company. So we started working with 3 feature teams, I'd say. One was responsible for management of our system, one was responsible for the mobile version of application, one was responsible for application for payment terminal. And we had to do something with this, and we had to structure this that way, mostly because we had product owners. And we had to cover their roles in an organization to be sure that we all are aligned with what we are doing. So we had these 3 teams, and 4th team was R&D team, and then there we had the team biometrical team, who was responsible for building, creating the algorithm and all the researches connected with this. And hardware, I'd say embedded team, which was working more or less separately, but it was better than from the beginning. And we started with this. We defined our common sprints, common refinement sessions, common reviews, to be sure that we are delivering the same time, and we can just demonstrate and make it visible and in a transparent way what we are delivering, when we are delivering, and why we are delivering. But we had the priorities basing on the team's needs, not the product needs. But on the other hand, because of building transparency on the workflow level, so we had sprints together, reviews together, refinement sessions together, pre-planning sessions together, teams saw that they need to start working more collaborative way. And after 6 months from start, we had common backlog. And it was the huge improvement for everyone. It was like the wow, because this was the first moment when all the teams could see the priorities for the product on a product level, even with filtering in Jira, because there was no less Jira, more Prosecco. We had to use Jira. We even with all these, filtering part and others, we had one common backlog with full understanding, visibility, what we are delivering based on priorities for the product. We had the feature teams, we had product owners for these feature teams. We were calling them product owners, not feature owners still. But it appears that we have some space for improvements. And the most important thing that we achieved at that moment was to build the community of practice for Java developers. And we started working on our technical excellence. So, even if it wasn't perfect, we had space to improve the technical excellence. And it was the most important thing that motivated people there, because they started to talk to each other. It was very important because that time it was, we hired 6 more Java developers. So from the team where we had 4 developers who were friends, we had in a second 10 developers. So it was very valuable, and it was one of the biggest achievements we had together. And then the CTO has changed, so the one who was a little bit problematic and not maybe involved enough was changed to a different guy, and he was supporting us. So the level of transparency was higher. We had one backlog, we had common commitments, common understanding, community of practice, and all of these things started to work. And it won't be, I think, surprise, after 3 months we went live. So after 9 months from beginning, when my team said from 7 to 12, in 9 months we went live. And so the predictability was very high, the technical excellence was higher than from at the beginning. I was very proud of my guys. I even baked them a cake, the huge one. It was better than space cake. It was like the birthday cake, but it was the strawberry, mango, and white chocolate, and everything, covered with love. Because this was me. 5 kilos birthday cake. Next time I'll just, take something here. So we went live, and it was very successful. You know what we heard from our board members? If you did it in 9 months, why you didn't do it in 6? You could work more. You could do more. There was no understanding how we delivered it. There was no understanding about the workflow, about the process. There was nothing like this. And I forgot to tell you that they hired me just because CTO said that he wanted to have a Scrum Master. So I was just a label in a company. So the next step I get from the board members was that if we are delivering in this, in this speed, maybe we can hire 1 more teams to push them, and to have always 1 team we can push, so they will work 60 hours per week each, and then 2 of them will be working in a Scrum, and 1 will be pushed by someone, and they will speed up. It's not a joke. This was one of the solutions they proposed. And you know what we saw was that with every and each milestone we are delivering, we are more less reliable than we thought that we would be. Yeah, there's more pressure, more less understanding and more pressure with each milestone we delivered. But instead of, crying, I started working with other departments in the company to make sure that we are all on the same page and with building the common understanding how our process works. So we need to work harder together to be sure that everyone is involved and we can deliver new features, new values, mostly because we were live. So we had to start growing our product, not building, but growing, yeah, with new features, with new business ideas, because we wanted to change the conversion. Yeah, we had to sell it more. So we started doing this, and after almost a year, we get to the point when we get new features to deliver. You know, the new business value, the sales value. So sales and marketing department built the requirements. They checked everything. They started with some ideas, some business values, some things they want to achieve, how we are going to improve our sales. And it was great. We asked them, invited them for workshops. We did workshops for more or less 2 days. We created the backlog. It was in Jira. But still, we had the backlog for the next features, and we were ready to deliver. Mostly it was great because we were the decision makers. We could make decisions that we are creating new microservice for this. We can build whatever we want if it will be just efficient. And it was great. We had green light from board members, because our product manager went there and said, guys, these are the requirements, these are the business values, we can deliver, and let's go for it. They said, yeah, great. So, everything was beautiful. And we did. It was the first time when our common backlog was common backlog. Yeah, so we did it because we prioritized well the whole new feature. We made decisions who is going to deliver what, not on a team level, but people were so involved and engaged that they started to think about what they can improve and what they can deliver, because basing on priorities of the backlog. I was very proud then. We did it in 2 iterations, so in 4 weeks. We delivered whole feature, and we didn't go live. It was releasable. Everything was done. All the requirements were covered. Everything was perfect. We are ready just to push the button. And we didn't. Because it appeared during one of the reviews that our marketing and our board members and our security didn't talk to compliance. And whole feature is not regulated by Polish tax law. So we failed that moment. The failure wasn't on our side, but the motivation we lost the motivation. And it was the beginning of the end, to be honest, because then there was blaming part in a whole company. We started building the requirements once again. It took us 6 weeks because of the problems. They didn't know how to achieve what we wanted to achieve and how to build the business value, so to create the conversion. At the end, we built it. Yeah, because the first version we built after 12 months after I start working with guys. It was success. We didn't release. After next 6 weeks, we started once again the development. We finished in next 2 iterations. So we succeeded once again. But every time we succeeded and we delivered, we heard from our team board members that we are not as good as we should, as we suppose. We had to start pushing teams, so the CTO has changed. that time, once again. And we didn't have the CTO, but our product manager was temporary CTO role. So he didn't have the experience and competencies to do this. And it was the real beginning of end. And to be honest, I was very proud of my teams because what I could see was they are engaged, they are working hard, they started being decision makers. They're working on technical excellence improvements. They feel the common accountability. They wanted to deliver the value, really. We built predictability. So we could really plan our new features, new functionalities, new items in our backlog were deliverables, the real ones. Yeah, we were able to deliver in 1 iteration, 2 iteration, we could go live. We even had with product manager common strategy how to build the organization more agile, and we started already working with sales and marketing, with compliance. We built the space to create new business ideas to make sure that we are delivering. After we released our applications live, we created space on every review where we were collecting feedback to make sure that we are improving the product basing on our end users' needs. So we did all the things that we should. What we missed? We did miss respect. We were not understood because we were not respected. Our people, our experts and their job was not respected, because if my board member says that we should work more instead of doing the Christmas party, because we didn't have one, we did. I did it with my friend. In 2 days, we invited 45 people who joined the Christmas party on our own. But it was our own bottom to top party. We even invited our board members. We were not respected in knowledge and expertise level, because everything what we did was denied. We were not respected on the market level, because we were creating and building what our board members wants, not what our market needs. So we were not respected on a collaborational level, to be honest, because our board members were conflicting us on this level, so there were different priorities for us and for other departments. And without respect, there was no space for understanding. I lost my job after 18 months of working, but with me, job lost 18 people. The money just ended up because it was a startup. It still exists, but it's not working on this specific amazing biometrical pattern payment, but on different things right now. And to be honest, I don't regret this journey. It was 18 months of great opportunity. And to be honest, this is one of the biggest successes when I started and I heard from the people that they are working in silos and they need 2 to 3 iterations. So 4 to 6 weeks to integrate the backend with frontend. Yeah. Yeah, and we finished with building in 4 weeks whole functionality for 3 different perspectives of the product and possible to be released. So I think that this is the best thing ever. Yeah, this is from my side.
Thanks a lot for your statement, to be honest. I really feel your story very, very well. So I only have one question. Did you try to involve any of the LeSS principles to your teams?
Yes, and we started mostly with practices, so common understanding, refining, reviews, common understanding for product owners. I was working hard with product owners, making sure that they understand where's the value. I was working with product manager who really understood the value of going for less, but no matter what, we were firefighters all the time. And so it was no chance, no space for any conclusions or any thoughts, because we were firefighters all the time. So we were just using some practices, the best ones, without chance and time to, even for workshops, more or less, for a common understanding. And I started working with my board members from the beginning, but it was very hard if you can hear from your board members that you have your sandbox and go and play.
Thank you, Agata, for this story. Like, my expectations were really high after the break, but you met them completely. One question, if I got you right, you said that for your second try after the regulatory failure, you spent 6 weeks on refining the backlog, and then it took 4 weeks to actually deliver it.
No. We spent the first one when we were creating proof of concept. No, we spent 2 days working together in one room on workshops, and we then spent 6 weeks on delivering the value. Okay. Then we started creating one different structure of teams in this time.
And in the, let's say, in the second try or for the second product, how long did it take to refine the backlog?
We started in November working on the live version of application, and on 1st of July we were live on the food truck festival in Wrocław. So it was very hard to have any problems there, because we were live on a festival where there were 2,000 or 3,000 people who started using our application.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I wanted to ask 2 questions, but they're connected, I think. The first one is how these board members became the board members. Who are they? Like, they're technical people or somebody else? And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on how could you gain their respect, or not only for you but for the whole team, in retrospective?
Okay, so they were not technical people at all. They were salespeople mostly, and this is the first part. Regarding to respect, it was not possible to change anything. I did my best, to be honest. I was working with my teams, separating board members from the teams, because at the beginning our board members were running on the open space and shouting that they want to have new features done, and how much time do they need, because they think that it's 2 hours. So from this specific moment to the moment where all the requirements were discussed inside the teams, basing on what we got from the stakeholders, business and other parts, it was the highest level of respect that I could bring to the company. It was nothing more to do then.
Okay, can I ask one more? Did you have any moments for these 18 months, yes, that you wanted to leave the company and leave this situation?
After first day, after first week, after first 6 weeks, after going live, and after we delivered and we didn't release because someone just misunderstood the requirements from the low perspective. Yeah, I won it a lot of times, but I saw the value when my boys, because I am always working with my boys or my little bubbles. This is how I call my teams, and they love it. I don't know why. But still, every time when I saw that they are delivering and they're improving, and they were really improving, this is, from silo teams, 4 to 6 weeks of integrating backend to frontend to 4 weeks and delivered increment. And possible to be released. It's really improvement. So I truly believe that I can help them. And for so long, I truly believed, and I was working there because I saw the value of working with these people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks to Agata.